What's up, guys? Classy Metal back again. I've been killing it here lately. You guys are going to get sick of me. I just came back, and this is the fourth video in a week and a half. Definitely will slow it down in the very near future. I don't want you guys to get burned out on me. I don't want to burn myself out again making these videos, but I've been wanting to make this one since I came back to YouTube. Special thank you once again to Oliver over at Black Lion Records. He was gracious enough to send me another package. I tried to do an unboxing video for this when it came in, but I just botched the whole video. It was terrible, and I think that was about a week, maybe almost 2 weeks ago. Now that the package came in, probably more like a week. But I wanted to spend some time with the albums. I figured since I botched that video and ruined it, I would at least spend some time with the albums. That way I'd have a little bit more insight when I tell you guys about it and show it to you guys. So he sent me a nice little stack. So thank you once again, Oliver. You've done so much for me. I don't know how to ever repay you, but thank you once again. The first thing I'm going to show, I guess this is the first actual compilation CD or album that his label Black Lion Records has put out so far, and this one is entitled Afterlife in Darkness Volume 1. It's a pretty dark cover on this digipack, so I'm going to do my bit there. I think that looks pretty good. The artwork is pretty stellar from what you can make out of it. But it's got 2 discs in this compilation. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with this yet, but it will be getting quite a bit of playtime because I like to put any type of compilation disc and that type of stuff in my truck. And usually that's what I listen to while I'm driving. This has a ton of bands from the Black Lion roster. You've got Mist of Misery, Wormlight, Of Lustra, Cole, Black Therapy. I mean, it goes on and on. Fantastic stuff on this. Definitely, as I said, that will be getting quite a bit of playtime in my truck in the very, very, very near future. So thank you, Oliver, for that. Next up is one that's still going to be wrapped. I've already talked about this album quite a bit before I took my break on this channel. This is one of the first albums from 2019 that I actually purchased. I did an album spotlight for this album as well. I did a giveaway earlier in the year, so definitely go back and check those out if you haven't done so. I'm speaking of the newest release from Meadows in the I always butcher this. The Grand Antiquation. I'm sorry if I still Antiquation is how I'm going to pronounce it. If it's wrong, sorry. Fantastic death metal, melodic death metal, symphonic death metal. I don't know what else to say about this that hasn't already been said. No, I'm not going to do a giveaway with this extra copy. I actually have a good friend of mine that I'm sending a package within the next week or so, and this will be going in with his stuff because I think he will really enjoy that, as I think you guys will too. It's a fantastic release, and I'm pretty positive that it's going to be on my end of the year list coming up just in just a few short months. I mean, we're already in September, so 4 months. Definitely look forward to seeing that one on the album of the year list. Next up, we have some German epic death metal. I was blown away with how much I like this album. This is Vagrant with the Rise of the Rise of Norn, and this was so good. I went through and I was kind of listening through these albums. I thought, well, I'll throw this one in, kind of in the mood. I'm not really sure what to expect from this. I had to listen to this album 2 or 3 times. It is that good. It's just German melodic epic death metal. I mean, it's there's kind of an epic feel to some of these. Germany has released some very epic death metal, epic battle ridden, fantasy ridden death metal, and Vagrant. For this to be a debut full length, man, it blew me away. It made me want to grab my axe, grab my sword, and just march into battle. And it's that good. I think you guys will love this as well. I will be linking up the Black Lion Records Bandcamp in the description, so go check that out. All of these albums are featured on the Bandcamp there, so you can check them out, check these bands out, and I think you will be as smitten with these as I am. That you can also, I know Season of Mist is doing some distribution for Black Lion Records here in the States. I know you can check them out if you're looking for some of these. You don't want to have to order from overseas. I believe Indie Merch has some of these as well, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Next up, we have Of Lustra with Tempestus. Of Lustra, formerly known as Sunspeaker, they released their name, tweaked their sound a little bit, and I think it was for the better. They are black and death metal, and they used to have a almost a strong deathcore-ish type vibe going on. They've seemed to me have dropped the deathcore-esque nuances in their music with this new album, and I think it has worked phenomenally for the band. Fantastic stuff. Another, just, I don't think there was a release that I got in this stack that I did not like. This I enjoyed. Like I said, I enjoyed it just as much, if not more than anything else that I got. I was very pleasantly surprised with the new direction that this band was taking. There was some times in this I almost felt like it had almost a Septic Flesh or Flesh God Apocalypse vibe going on with some of the orchestral arrangements, especially as far as like intros and outros. Fantastic stuff. Definitely check this out. These guys are from Phoenix here in the States, and I'm definitely expecting big things from them in the future. Moving on, this is a very, I guess, international box that he sent me. Next up, we have some Italian death metal, more death metal, melodic death metal. This is Black Therapy with their newest release, Echoes of Dying Memories. Another stellar release. Melodic death metal. I mean, there's nothing just groundbreaking on this release, but it is melodic death metal played by expert musicianship. I mean, it's great stuff. If you like melodic death metal, you're going to dig this. If you don't like melodic death metal, you probably won't. I dug it. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to spending some more time with this. Probably the one that I've spent the least amount of time with, other than the compilation album that I've gotten. Definitely, but it's definitely worthy of a few more spins. I mean, any of these albums, I could find a potential spot on that end of the year list coming up. Next up is a band that I hadn't thought about in a while. They are melodic death metal out of Sweden. I own their previous full length. I believe it was entitled Darkest Potency, I believe was what the name of that album was. So I kind of knew what to expect going into this release, but I was surprised with how much heavier this album sounds than their previous outputs. This is a Bleeding Utopia with Where the Light Comes to Die. Amazing stuff. Much more guttural vocal style going on this release than some of the previous stuff. I was pleasantly surprised with this one as well. As I said, it's just a much heavier sound than what I was expecting coming from previous outputs from Bleeding Utopia. Much more mature sound coming from this band. So definitely the break between albums, I think, did this band good. This also features, I think, Ryan Knight, one of the many former members now of the Black Dahlia Murder. I'm not sure why they shuffle members so much. There seems maybe to be some issues within that band. But Ryan Knight, formerly of Black Dahlia Murder, has a cameo on one of these songs. I believe it is Enhance My Wrath, if my memory is serving me correct. Fantastic stuff. As I said, this will all be linked up through the Black Line Records Bandcamp, so you can go check these out for yourself. Definitely check that track out. And the last one that I'm going to show is an absolute monolith of an album. I was completely immersed within this release for a couple of days, and it's almost 2 hours, the runtime on this. It's I think an hour and 50 minutes stretched out over 2 discs. This is the newest release from Mist of Misery. This is a symphonic black metal band out of, I just went blank. I'm going to butcher the name of this album. Unaterrible. Yeah, I believe these guys are out of Sweden as well. I could be wrong. I went blank trying to remember where they were from. I'm pretty positive now, getting back into the mindset, that they are from Sweden. As I said, almost 2 hours, hour 49 minutes, hour 52 minutes total run time. Over 2 CDs. I think I enjoyed part 1 a bit more than part 2. Part 1 is a bit more mellow to me. As I said, it's symphonic, almost melodic black metal. At times, it has a little bit of a doom metal vibe going on to me, almost a depressive black metal at times, even a doom metal. I could see some definite My Dying Bride influence going on in this release, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. This is probably my favorite release that I received in this whole box. I I love Mist of Misery. I've loved everything that I've heard from this band from this point, and this was no exception. As I said, almost 2 hours. It took me a while. I had to get into that mindset when you're immersing yourself and putting yourself into something that you're going to invest that much time in. You have to actually be in the right mindset, in the right place mentally to do that. And once I got myself in that place where I needed, 2 hours flew by. I've listened to it. I think I've put at least 6 hours of runtime and listen time into that album within the last 2 days, and I am not upset about that whatsoever. That's one that I can see staying in steady rotation to the end of the year, and I know for a fact that that one will be in the end of the year list. Sorry if you heard the noise. My boy was coming through. I thought he was going to make a cameo in the video. Now the dog is whining. That's all that I've got for this. As I said, I will post up the Black Line Records Bandcamp in the description so you guys can check that out. Definitely check these bands out. There is some just phenomenal stuff. Oliver, I thank you so much. Thank you once again for always taking care of me the way you do. I got some more stuff coming. I've still got the Hell's Headbangers I need to show. I don't know how I'll ever get this stuff caught up. The dog is trying to make a cameo as well. Let's see. Maybe I can get him in. He's kind of grown since the last time. Ooh, hit his head. He's kind of grown a little bit since the last time. Look at the camera. I don't think he wants to be on camera, but he's a good boy. That's all I've got for today. You guys stay classy, stay metal, and I will see you all very soon. I promise.